As if I needed more reasons to avoid eating at Arby's.
I've never
I
had
just
Arby's.
learned about an ongoing case where a former Arby's manager spit in a customer's food, which they have video evidence to confirm
Is this a normal
the
thing?
spitting there, and allegedly gave that customer
Thank you for the bits. Wow, 500. That's a lot of money. Thank you. Appreciate it.
herpes. And I'm going to tell you something, sports fans, I'm not even that surprised to learn that from Arby's. Because if you've been around for a while, you might recall 4-ish years ago, Arby's waged viral warfare on me as well.
What?
When doing the hottest
this
sandwich in
lore?
the world, they served me a sandwich that was questionably cooked, and I'm using the word cooked very loosey-goosey, because that chicken sandwich was pussy pink, and I had already eaten some of it when I noticed.
Oh, God.
They were doing this whole, we've got the hottest chicken sandwich ever, get ready to fill your diaper with fear when you try this puppy. But it was actually just a Trojan horse to introduce salmonella into my system. Luckily, I didn't get devastatingly ill or anything, but I definitely could have.
I went to a barbecue yesterday and I woke up at 6:30 a.m. today with the worst stomach pain of my life. You cannot trust the picanha, dude. You cannot trust the picanha. I was like, dude, I'm going to this barbecue. They're gonna have picanha. They're gonna have black beans. It's gonna be great. Woke up, shitted.
Improperly prepared poultry is not something you fuck around with. And Arby's was back there, like, diabolically concocting this, weapon against me.
Weapon.
So,
Bio
I don't
weapon.
love Arby's. I feel like most people probably don't either. You'd have to really be cruising Arkham Asylum before you found a single Arby's enthusiast.
Anybody in chat like Arby's? I've never had, so I can't comment. All I know is the meme about the Arby's roast beef that I've heard on the internet. I don't know anything else. I only had it a couple times. Rated 1 through 10. 5 out of 10. Yeah, okay. Bailey was talking up In and Out so much when we went to the TC for the first time. And he's like, dude, you gotta try the animal style fries. They were buns. Bro has never had a loaded poutine in his life, and it shows.
So that being said, I already didn't like Arby's and had
Dave's Hot Chicken. Don't talk about Dave's Hot Chicken right now.
no plans of going there, but after seeing this story, you can bet your sweet bippy you won't be catching me ever getting the rumbly tummy that only Arby's can fix.
Now to a story we all wish would be just a gross urban legend. But in McCurtain County, a former Arby's manager is charged with felony poisoning, accused of spitting in a woman's food and giving her herpes as a result.
No, what? I knew she spit in it, but she gave her...
After a long night bartending, Jenica Church stopped at Arby's in Broken Bow.
It was taking a little bit of time. Thought they were probably mad at me because it was right about to close.
Jenica said she had some history with Amanda Hendricks, the manager, but nothing major. She went home, ate, and shared sandwiches with her father-in-law and
She shared them with her family. She shared them. We're so good. We're so
grandmother-in-law.
Jenica, her husband, the kids, and the grandparents all...
The kids. Oh, how much do you have to hate somebody to spit in their food knowing you have herpes?
live together.
It's just so evil to do some shit like this. I'm already a hypochondriac, so every time I order out, there is always that, like, lingering anxiety about, like, well, what if they spit in my food? And it has never even crossed my mind that if that happened, they could give me herpes.
It's never crossed my mind that I could get, like, a disease. I was like, oh, if somebody, like, spits in my food, like, in my drink or something, like, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't taste it. It'll probably be okay. You know, I'm rationalizing it, like, oh, if it happens, like, it's fine. But fuck.
I've always just thought, like, oh, if that happens, it's gonna be yucky. Ew, it's gonna be gross. But at least it won't be Arby's. But now, the game has changed. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. If this is true, that her spitting in the food, which that part isn't really up for debate, there's no big dispute there. Apparently they have video evidence showing her
I'm trying to
spitting
see
in
the
it.
video evidence.
But what is still up in the air is whether or
This is
not
not
that
funny.
spit led to her contracting herpes from it. But if that is true, that sends shivers down my spine. That is horrifying. So I looked it up to see if this is like a well-known transmission here, like saliva on food transmitting herpes to someone else. Like, because I had remembered hearing like transmitting herpes through sharing drinks is like not as high risk as you would expect. Like it's kind of like low risk. So I looked it up for food because I thought it'd be even less risk, because especially on warm food or something, you would think that it would make it inactive pretty quickly. But it is possible, but it is very rare, which would explain why out of all the food that I guess she spit on that night, only one of the people who consumed it got it. The others must have
Who
been
was it? Was it the
luckier in that
woman,
regard.
or was it
So
like the
from what I
dad?
can tell from like the bits and pieces I was looking up about it,
Who got
it
herpes?
can happen, but it's so exceedingly rare that there's just not even a whole lot of like information on it, because it's not a common means of transmission, like spitting on food.
After that night, Jenica's mouth began to flare up like it never had before.
It was a woman.
The doctor diagnosed her with herpes.
Several times a week, I get a flare up. It goes all the way up to the top of my eye twitches. I mean, it's very painful.
You're probably wondering, how could she possibly connect herpes to Arby's?
I'll be honest, not exactly the Charles Xavier level mind reading there from the host, because I've always had a hunch that if there ever was going to be some kind of crazy outbreak, some kind of, new plague, it might just happen at Arby's. Like the fucking T-virus gets unleashed through Arby's diabolically trash, garbage, fucking sludge that they serve to human beings.
Broken
He's
Bow
such
is
a
a
hater.
small town.
I mean,
Jenica
in this
says
situation, yes,
Amanda
but he's
Hendricks
just a
was
Harp-
bragging about spitting in her
Arby's
sandwiches
hater. He
that
said
night.
Harpies.
And Jenica's daughter heard the story.
According to the affidavit, Broken Bow
Boy.
police say they pulled cameras and saw Amanda spitting in
What did I miss? So nobody else in the family got herpes except the woman that went to Arby's.
the food.
What a vile person. A, to even do this act in the first place of spitting in the food, and B, to then start bragging about it. All right, everyone, all right, yeah, hold your applause. I spit in their food. I did it. I know. Look, I'm not a hero.
Admitting
No
to a
autographs
felony is
today.
crazy.
No. Okay, you can hoist me on your shoulders and carry me out like I just scored the game-winning touchdown. Like, what is there to brag about? That is disgusting. Now, again, it's not clear whether or not she actually transmitted herpes through this, because that is not proven yet, but it's still a gross, unacceptable thing to do, and it is still a crime to spit in food like that. That is a very serious crime, actually. So regardless, what she's done here is still incredibly fucked up.
How many years
Now,
in jail does she
what
get
I
for
will
something
say
like this?
is apparently she spit in her order. And this was food that was shared with multiple people, her and family. And out of all of them, she's the only one that got herpes from it, allegedly. So that leads me to believe that maybe the other family members got extremely lucky, or maybe she put a little extra secret sauce here, the Krabby Patty secret formula, hawked an extra loogie
The
on
secret
her sandwich in
sauce.
particular to really seal the deal. Or, and this is me
Food tampering penalties generally range from 1 year in federal misdemeanor cases up to 20 years in prison for standard felony tampering. If the tampering causes serious injury or death, sentences can escalate to life imprisonment or up to 99 years depending on state or federal jurisdiction. If they can prove she caught herpes from her, that's considered bodily injury, right? Like gave her a disease.
just now spitballing.
Well, probably won't know
There
for a
is
while.
a chance that since these two apparently had a little bit of history, it's not clear to what extent, but according to this news report, these two knew each other and did have, I guess, a bit of friction history between them. Maybe after her daughter heard the Arby's manager bragging about spitting in the food, she realized that there's a very good opportunity to, capitalize off that. Because that is a crime,
Yeah.
1000%, and she should go after her for that regardless. And I'm really interested to see how this plays out if they prove that the herpes is directly from her spitting in that food. Because, again, from everything I've read, that is a very, 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 very rare way of transmitting herpes. And I imagine, it would be tough to investigate, but, if the Arby's manager doesn't have herpes, that probably puts the kibosh on it right
Yeah.
away. Or if they find evidence that
Yeah.
she had already had
She
herpes
needs
before
to
the
have
spit,
it,
then that
and then
too.
they have to prove-
But I'm willing to believe her story because
I would
she
have
has
she gave
been
it to her.
wronged, and it feels like it'd be a weird thing to include in there if it was just untrue. So I'm just very curious to see how this plays out as they continue to investigate the case.
She's charged with felony poisoning with intent to injure. A warrant has been issued for her arrest. Jenica and her family filed a lawsuit against Amanda, Arby's, and affiliated restaurant groups, claiming extreme anxiety, emotional distress, and fear of infection. Jenica fears it'll impact her service industry work.
Yeah, that makes sense because her life has now been directly impacted in a wildly detrimental way as a result of this behavior from the former Arby's manager. So that checks out. It never even crossed my mind as a possibility. And it's something they mentioned in this interview here about like, oh, you hear about, workers spitting in food if they're upset or something, but I've never seen it happen. I wouldn't have thought something
How
like this was
mentally
possible
ill do you have to be
until it happened
to
to
do
her.
that shit, bro?
It is just terrible, really. And she talks about how it could like impact her work in the service industry because she'd worry about like having, herpes flare up, no one wanting to like hire her or have her work during that flare up because they wouldn't want her handling food. Customers would be uncomfortable. So it's pretty obvious that her life is now something that has changed as a result of allegedly being poisoned by the fucking Arby's manager here.
That story was fucking crazy. I don't know, like, if there's gonna be much coverage on it, but I definitely want to know how and if they're gonna be able to prove that, yes, she did get herpes from that woman.